Okay, stupy. We need to talk about your work performance. I have become a bit concerned lately.
Really? I cannot think of anything that I have done to concern you.
Well, let's start with the dead patient.
Who? Are you talking about that guy?
I do believe that you and I are the only living people in this room.
Oh, yes. Well, if we are talking about him, then, what would you like to know?
For starters, can you tell me the events leading up to his death?
Well, he did not have a pulse.
Okay, what happened before he lost a pulse?
I had left his room to see my other patient. She was the cutest little thing. She wanted to know if we had milk and cookies. And, I, being the stellar and thoughtful nurse that I am, went to bake them.
Go on.
So I turned the toaster oven on and laid some dough in a pan. I was debating on whether or not she was a chocolate chip kind of woman or if she would prefer oatmeal. I like both.
The flavor of cookies is completely irrelevant here. Please explain to me why your patient has ceased to exist.
Oh. So I heard the alarm ringing, but I thought since Nurse Bizibity was sitting next to the monitor that she would let me know if something was happening. But apparently she was helping another nurse in bed 3.
And you did not think to check the monitor alarming yourself?
I do not like to leave appliances running unattended.
So how did you know that your patient's alarm was ringing?
His wife began shouting for help.
Did you go to see what she needed?
I went to tell her that we did not appreciate her shouting. I told her that this is a hospital and people are resting. She told me that her husband was not breathing. I watched his chest rise and fall. I saw it move. I put his nasal cannula in his nose. He was 63%. I watched the monitor to see if he improved. But then I saw that his mouth was open and I put the cannula in his mouth. He was a mouth breather.
Okay, did you think that maybe he needed to be placed on a non-rebreather? Or that maybe he was arresting and he may have needed more critical care than a fucking nasal cannula in his mouth?
I turned him up to 15 liters. I waited for his saturation to improve. It did not. I looked at the monitor and saw that his rhythm was very wavy. I was going to grab the code card, but then he had a bowel movement, so I figured that it would be best if I cleaned him up, so that it would not be messy if we needed to do CPR. I got stool on my sleeve and had to wash it.
You deferred CPR to clean the patient in your sleeve.
Stool is not very sanitary, you know?
I do not give a rat's ass if your patient shit all over your face in the fucking bed. If the patient was coding, you should have began CPR immediately, called a code, and, at the very least, used some common fucking sense. Now, I have one more question. Why does the patient have IV tubing in his rectum?
Well, his IV infiltrated. His blood pressure was low, and I know that the rectal vault is highly absorbent.
Are you fucking serious?
Why do you think drug abusers place drugs in their anal cavity? But I also added heparin to the saline so that it would be thinner.
I'm going to give you until the count of 3 to get the fuck out of my face and off the hospital's property before I shove a brick so far up your rectal vault that you aspirate it.
Oh my.